This program is brought to you by the following sponsors.
What is going on, guys? Jay Shy here with another one, and I think it's time that we talk about something right now. And I noticed something. Ever since I've stepped away from YouTube for a little bit, took some time to myself to finish writing my book and to finish focusing on me and giving myself some time to really play some video games, I noticed that there is a change in the air, especially when it comes to the video game developers that I love and new video game developers that I've grown to love even more. Starting this channel, I was a real huge Atlas fan. There was no denying it. I was a fan of Atlas. I loved everything Atlas did. But with the recent change to Sega and Sega buying them, I can kind of tell that there has been, what's the word I'm looking for? I wouldn't say it's gotten worse. It's because it's not bad. It's just that it's gotten somewhat stagnant for me. And I noticed that I started to shift in terms of taste, especially when I'm noticing games that I want to play when it comes to JRPGs. For a while, I took a break from JRPGs, but I will admit that my JRPG, love was the embers were somewhat reignited when it came to a developer known as Nihon Falcom, and Falcom has become somewhat of a saving grace for me. I found myself getting somewhat attached to Trails games and East games for a while now. It's been, I think, since I've had the chance to play Tokyo Xanadu. That was the first Falcom game I played, and then I think I played after that, it was an East game called Oath in Felghana. I got a chance to play that, and then it really took off for Falcom when I was playing East 8, Lacrimosa of Dana. Those games really made me a fan. I remember years ago, a friend of mine who was really into Trails games, he always told me, yo, you need to go play a Trails game. And I ignored him for a long time, and it wasn't until recently, like a couple of years ago, I decided to buy my first Trails game, and I played a little bit of it. I never finished it, but I became so enthralled in its lore that I decided to read and watch videos on the lore just so I can catch up, and I've become quite a fan. Now, I notice nowadays I'm even more of a fan of Falcom, as well as two other publishers that I'm starting to notice that I'm becoming attracted to. And every time I see these logos, I treat them like they're Atlas logos now for me. And those two logos are Furyu and Lancarse. I think that's how you pronounce it. When I see these logos on games, or I hear that these two companies are working on anything, I'm attracted to their games now. They're a company that makes, I would say, in the eyes of the AAA or the mainstream, they're very mediocre RPGs, kind of like Idea Factory or Compile Heart. No one really cares about their games when they come out, but whenever I see Furyu, I think about games like Crystar, which I'm playing right now, or I think about other games like what's another Furyu game? I think I actually finished Trinity Trigger, and there's a Furyu logo on that, and I loved Trinity Trigger. And when it comes to Lancarse, I think about games like Lost Dimensions or Monarch and Diofield Chronicles. A lot of people don't know this, but Lancarse is the company that made Diofield Chronicles. It wasn't Square Enix. Square Enix funded the game. So I've become so attached to these logos and their companies and their their, I guess, company design. I mean, even when you go to Lancarse's website in Japan, one of their mission statement, just downright, I'm attached to it because it speaks volumes, especially to me. And those are companies nowadays that I kind of want to support even more now because they make games that I enjoy. One of the games that's recently coming out from, I think it's Furyu. They're making a game called Renatus, which looks like it's right up my alley. It's anime to the 10th degree. It's full of flashy garbage that you don't really need, but I heard there's some interesting complexities to it that I kind of want to test out, you know, going to a one state and switching to another to do combat and switching back to absorb different abilities or something like that. But it seems like it's right up my alley. Anyway, this was something that I kind of wanted to discuss because I know a lot of people aren't paying attention to these two companies, well, three companies, because there's actually two more logos that I've become attached to, and I think people have been attached to these other two logos for quite some time because their games sell crazy, which is Marvelous and Exceed. Whenever you see those logos, people get attached to those as well. But I noticed that my recent amount of purchases have been from these number of logos, and I guess I wanted to start this discussion because I used to treat Atlas logos the same way I treat these new logos that I'm attached to now. I don't really treat Atlas logos the same as I used to anymore, mostly because I feel like Atlas is... I wouldn't say that they're not being as creative as I know that they can be, but I know that they are at the whims of Sega, so they have to make something that's going to sell. And the way that they stay on top like that is they have to produce what they know. I recently saw some gameplay from the Fantasio game, and I couldn't help but feel like I've played the game before. It reminded me of Digital Devil Saga or with a Persona look to it. Which isn't bad. It does look great. I wish I could get it, but I don't have a PS5 because I do want to test it out. But it's it feels like a fantasy take on Persona is what it feels like. And I hope that it doesn't play like that because I don't want a new IP to fall into the trenches of what was Soul Hackers 2, if that makes any sense. I heard rumors that Soul Hackers 2 was very bland. Not that it was bad, just bland and very mediocre. Sometimes a mediocre RPG is a good one, so at least to me. But I really wanted to start this discussion. What do you guys think? Is there any logos that you guys are attached to or see, or when you see it, you're like, yep, gotta support them? Anyway, I end the video here, and I hope to do another one next time, and it doesn't take me like 3 months, but we'll see. Peace.